I can't make anybody happy here. No matter what I do, somebody is going to complain, and I can't deal with it anymore. You have driven me to the edge, and I hope this makes you happy. I seriously hope it does, because I can no longer, I can't do this anymore. If I could grow a full, beautiful beard, I would have done it a long time ago. But I can't. I'm not my brother who's younger than me who can grow a full beard. I'm not my dad who looks like Santa Claus. I am just me. And if you can't handle me, well then, I don't know what to tell you. Make sure to like and subscribe this video. I'm coming for you, Animal Logic. Crocodiles have come a very long way over the past 100 years. There was a point in time where they were just utterly decimated in basically every single region in which they lived. We need water. And they, living in the water and being just the biggest of the bad, well, they ate us because we're just little flesh bags. And it happened a lot. And it still happens a lot to this day. Now, stories about man-eating crocodiles goes back a very long way, and most of them, it's really kind of hard to tell the size of them. You know, you obviously have the stories of Gustav, which no one knows the actual size, but there's a big mythos around it. You probably didn't kill anywhere near as many people as it was claimed to be, but that's neither here nor there. Lolong is the longest crocodile that was ever officially measured, therefore is the longest crocodile that we know to have existed, of modern day species. But this video is a little different because it's not about one animal, and this is about something that is currently going on today. In the Bhitarkanika region of India, which is on the east side of India, in the Odisha province, state, in the Odisha area, there is this refuge that previously up until 1975 only had about 94 saltwater crocodiles. Now, this version of the saltwater crocodile is called the estuarine crocodile. They live in brackish water, and they are the same species, but they just inhabit the brackish rivers throughout Southeast Asia, Australia. These guys are the ones living in the salt marshes, and these crocodiles tend to be the biggest of the big of the saltwater crocodiles. Now, as I said, in 1975, there were only an estimated 94 left. They had been basically hunted down to the brink of extinction. In this area, that is. But massive conservation efforts, including breeding programs that release these crocodiles back into the water, drastically helped them. And from 1975 to 1995, only a 20-year period, it went from 94 to just over 1,000 individuals. That's a very big success. And up to 2022, there are an estimated 1,800 individuals in this area, to the point where they're basically at their saturation level. There's almost too many of them now. And due to this, there have been an increased number of attacks. And when I say increased, I mean drastic. Let me put this into context for you. From 2012 to 2022, there were an estimated 50 people that were killed by crocodiles in this area. In the year 2023, there's not even 100% sure on the number of people that were killed, but it's estimated to be at least 60, probably closer to 70 in just that 1 year. Now, this area is known for its giant crocodiles as well. The most famous one was Cali, also known as the dark one or the black one. Now, Cali, in 1923, had a mythical status. This crocodile had killed upwards of about 13 people, but had haunted this area for close to 50 years. And no matter what happened, they couldn't actually track it down to kill it. I said until 1923, when it was finally able to be shot, it ended up crawling up onto the bank, and then the villagers in the area burnt down the grass that it was hiding in and ended up killing it. And when this crocodile's remains were ripped open, they found the bangles, which are like the rings, the gold rings that the women in the area would wear, and they found a bunch of these bangles inside of this crocodile's stomach. Now, that's one of the reasons why they were hunted to almost extinction in this area. But because of a worldwide effort when it came to preserving crocodiles, the same reason Lolong couldn't be taken out of the water or killed when Lolong went on its spree and killed 3 people, they are protected. And so crocodiles will go up and they'll kill somebody, and there's nothing anyone can really do about it. Now, this area was brought to my attention, not just because of the Cali story, which I've covered in there's not much detail on it, but I covered it in the previous video that we're talking about the largest crocodiles of all time, because the skull of Cali is still around, and it was measured, and it is currently the 3rd largest crocodile skull ever discovered, and it's estimated based on the measurements of the skull that this crocodile was probably around 23 feet. Now, the Guinness Book of World Records holds Cali as the largest crocodile ever, which is, why would you do? Guinness is a joke at this point. Their burden of proof it's very inconsistent. Cali was probably bigger than any crocodile we've ever officially measured, but unless we were able to actually measure the physical body, there's really no way to know for sure. So this is another one of those ambiguous probably, but we can't say 100%. And with all that being said, this has become such a problem with these crocodiles killing people that a video was circulating last year, and I will not show it on here. You might have seen this video. It's a video of a crocodile that had freshly killed a person and was in the process of eating said person. It's from a distance. It was shot on a potato, so it's kind of hard to see any details, but you can clearly see what's going on. This is happening, unfortunately, all the time. And the reason I say that we have no idea of how many crocodiles have actually killed people or how many people have been killed in general is because the records are kind of mixed up. These are also some rural areas. There are over 5,000 people drown in the rivers / ponds and all this stuff in this area every single year. It's gotten so crazy that there was a man who faked his own death by putting his belongings along the side of the river and then just disappeared. And he was hoping that his family was going to receive compensation because he owed a bunch of debts. And he was hoping his family was going to receive compensation from his death. And he just, as I said, disappeared. While bringing his phone with him, he forgot that the government can track your phone, and they ended up just calling him up and being like, "We know you're not dead. You need to come to the police station." And yeah. So what is the government doing to protect the people? Well, India is a very interesting place when it comes to its lower class people. Not the people themselves, but how people who are in lower rungs of society in their caste system are treated. It's basically like the government doesn't really care. And so they beg the government oftentimes, hey, build these fenced-in area in the river to stop so they can go and do their daily things. Because here's the thing, they need the rivers. They get their water out of the rivers, they fish, they clean their clothes, they take shits. They do all sorts of things in this river, like everything. So they can't really not use it. And so if you block off certain areas so that crocodiles can't actually get into these areas, it's like a little safe zone. But the government says that's too difficult to do and oftentimes refuses to do anything to help. Also, this area has a very high number of albino crocodiles. There's estimated to be 20 that live amongst the 16 to 18,000. Now, they may not seem like that much, but when it comes to the sheer numbers, that's pretty good for wild albino animals. So yeah, there's a bunch of big crocodiles that are killing people at a very alarming rate in this, it's not a small area, it's a pretty decent sized area of eastern India, and not much is really being done about it. And not only that, but some of the largest crocodiles of all time have come from this area. And throughout its history, there have been 3 separate crocodiles that have reached over 20 feet long. It's a weird mix because this is a success story / not a success story. It's like if we reintroduced wolves back into a certain area and then the wolves got so high in number and they started just attacking all the cattle and then started killing people. It's like we did a good job of protecting them, but now we got to do something to take care of the situation. And that's the thing about conservation, is that when we decide that we want to protect an animal, regardless of what it is, there are repercussions for those animals hitting the numbers they need to hit eventually, because then they start just doing the things that they would do when they have a normal amount of the animal, they have to outcompete the other animals that are directly in their territory. And sometimes that means that if there are too many of them, they have to start branching out and trying to find other food sources. It's the same situation here in Florida with the black bears. There are a lot of black bears. They're doing pretty well. There's roughly 6,000 throughout the state. And with all of the development going on, you're going to start, well, it's started, and it's been a big issue where they will go into areas that have homes and people, and they will go through the trash, and eventually, luckily it hasn't really started here in Florida, but eventually you're going to start having attacks. Alligators are the exact same thing. There was a point where they were almost wiped out, and now there's close to 2 million throughout the state of Florida. People are moving in who don't know anything about them, and old ladies are being dragged in the water. There's a give and take. In Florida, we have an alligator hunting season. We cull a certain amount every single year to make sure the population doesn't increase too much. But because the alligator is a very localized animal compared to the saltwater crocodile crocodiles are just protected no matter what. So even in areas where they're in overabundance, there's legally nothing that can be done about it, and it needs to be taken to more of an individual area level because we've done such a good job with conservation. When I say we, I mean the world for the most part has. But unfortunately, in certain parts of the world, that's not really a priority for them. So what will happen at this point? I hope nobody else is killed. But that seems like a long shot. It seems like this is going to be a huge issue. That about wraps this up. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the support. For those of you talking about the view counts on my long videos versus the amount of subscribers I have, I realize this. I got my subscribers based on my shorts, which you guys who have watched me since the beginning, I can't thank you guys enough. But I understand there's a big discrepancy in my view videos, and I'm trying to work on that, and that's partially what this is. That's partially what this is. You think I would put this on just because I wanted to? Come on, I gotta entertain a little bit, and I'm trying to work on that. And I'm also trying to come out with consistent longer videos that have a lot more effort put into them. I'm trying to work on that. I work full-time. I have a family. I have a kid on the way. I have bills to pay. And unfortunately, the internet doesn't take care of most of that. So sometimes I put a little less time into my videos than I really want to because I have to make sure that other things are taken care of. I'm just like you guys. I'm just a normal dude trying to make it. But with all that being said, you guys are awesome, and I can't thank you enough for all the support. And I'll see you on the next one. See ya.